welcome to the lecture series of instrumentation and sensor. So today in this lecture we will continue our chapter number 2, that is sensor installation and operations. So today in this lecture our topic, that is sensor selection, and second sensor sighting. Okay, so question arise in our mind during the sensor selection, that are what quantities need to be measured and monitored. Second, what level of accuracy and precision are required. And third, our measurement and monitoring requirements are short term and long term. Okay, so these questions arise in our mind during the selection of any sensor. Okay, so let us understand in detail during the selection of the sensor which criteria we have to follow. Okay, so that we can select perfect and correct sensor for our construction or for our project. Okay, so let us understand sensor selection. So before selection of sensor for any construction, we have to note following criteria in our mind. Okay. First one is parameter to be monitored. Okay. So here, first of all, we have to clear that which type of parameter we are going to monitor or measure. Okay. And that type of parameter that are ground level, pore water pressure, then earth pressure, vertical and horizontal deformation, tilt, load and strain. Okay, so first of all we have to clear in our mind that which type of parameter we are going to measure before the selection of any sensors. Okay, next one is required accuracy. Okay, so the accuracy is very important in detecting and tracking the objects. Okay, so it is useful to choose sensor with accuracy value between the desired measurement margin. Okay, so it is necessary to select accurate sensor for our measurement, or we can say that to measure any variables which we have selected. Okay, so we have to select accurate sensor to obtain our expected output value. Okay, third one is required precision. Okay, so we have to select precise sensor so that we get output which is same as the reference value. Okay, so for that we have to select a precise sensor to get our exact output which is exactly same as the reference value. Okay, next one is cost. So before selecting any sensor we have to focus on the cost of the sensor. Okay, so depending on the budgets allocated to our project, you can select a sensor or the sensors that can be used to build the structure, deformation, tilt, load and strain. Okay, so before selecting sensor, first of all we have to focus on budget also. Okay, which is allocated to our project. Okay, next criteria, that is installation requirement. Okay, so installation of the sensor must be according to the requirement, that which type of variables we are going to measure. Okay, so first of all before selecting the sensor you are clear in your mind that what are the requirement of the installation of the sensors. Okay, next one is special requirements. Okay, so in case of special requirements we have to select a sensor as per our requirement with accuracy and low cost. Okay, next is environmental conditions. So before selecting any sensor we have to focus on environmental condition also, where we are going to install our sensor. Okay, so checking of environmental condition is necessary before selecting any sensors. Okay, so we must be aware of environmental condition while selecting a product, or we can say that by selecting a sensor. Okay, so numerous sensors can be affected by the environmental conditions like temperature, pressure, gas, velocity, humidity and chemical effects. Okay, so before selecting any sensor we have to focus on the environmental conditions also. Okay, so calibrating the sensor is an essential step in to ensure efficiency and more accurate measurement. Okay, so before installing the sensor calibration is necessary. Okay, so we have to select the sensor as per our requirement. Okay, next is resolution. So our high resolution can detect the smallest changes in the position of the target. Okay, so we have to select that type of sensor which have high resolution. Okay, so what is the meaning of high resolution sensor? So it will detect the smallest changes in the position of the target. Okay, so we will get output if any smallest changes occur in input side. Okay, now next is range, that is involved in choosing the sensor based on measurement limits and compared with the desired detecting range of the robot or any project. Okay, so we have to select the sensor as per the requirement range of our measurement. Okay, now next is control interface. To interface the sensor, you have to know the type of the sensors. Okay, so wide range of sensors are 3-wire DC type, but there are many more types of including 2-wire DC and 2-wire AC or DC. Okay, so before selecting the sensor, we are clear in our mind that we are going to use a control interface which is 2-wire DC type, 3-wire DC type or 2-wire AC or DC type. So as per that we can select the sensor. Okay, so before selecting any sensor, we have to follow this type of criteria. Okay, so that we can select a perfect sensor for our construction and for our project. Okay, and we can get accurate and our expected output which is same as reference value. Okay, so now there are some also basic requirements before selecting the sensor, that is that it should be designed for a housing that is small and rough, then it should be suitable for use in hazardous locations and harsh environments, then should also be explosion proof. Okay, sensor should be cost effective, then sensor is designed for installation and use in industrial production area. Okay, installation of the sensor at a reasonable cost. Okay, so these are the basic requirement of sensor before selecting any sensor. Let us understand more about it, that for portable application the instrument should have reasonable energy consumption and the options of powering the instrument with batteries should be easily available. Okay, and it should be small and portable so we can easily carry it out. Okay, then it should be safe for use in industrial environment. Okay, next the sensor should be able to function continuously and reliably for a period of time. Okay, then sensor should be easy to install into a multi-point system and be managed by a controller or a computer distributed system. Okay, then next, the operation and maintenance of the instrument should be easily performed by the regular plant personnel with the minimum special training requirements. Okay, and then next, the cost of the instrument should be reasonable. Okay, so that the multiple sensor can be installed to effectively protect the area. That it should be explosion proof, then it should be cost effective. The installation procedure of the sensor is easy. The installation cost of the sensor should be easy, and the operation and the maintenance of the instrument should be easy. And in portable sensor, so there is option that is battery, and powering of the battery should be easy, and also portable sensor should be small and it is portable so we can easily carry it out it. Okay, and another basic requirement that sensors should be safe in hazardous environment and industrial environment. Okay, so these are the basic requirement of the sensor. So according to that we have to select the sensor before our construction and before planning of project. Okay, so now let us understand the sensor we select are commonly used in infrastructure instrumentation. So first one is inclinometer to measure the ground tilt and horizontal displacement. Second is piezometer to measure pore water pressure, and third one is strain gauge to measure strain in a selected structures components. Okay, so we have studied about it, that what are the working principle and what are the types of this type of sensors in our previous lecture. Now in this lecture we will learn about which type of sensor model of this inclinometer, piezometer and strain gauge is useful, and what is the accuracy of this type of sensor. Okay, so let us understand with piezometer. So generally piezometer is used, that is Gacon model 4500 VW piezometer. So it has outstanding long-term stability and reliability and low thermal zero shift. Okay, you can clearly see in this figure that is piezometer. Okay, so standard ranges that is 350 k Pascal, resolution that is 0.025 percentage fs, and accuracy that is plus or minus 0.1 percentage fs. Okay, then temperature range that is minus 20 degrees on Celsius to plus 80 degree on Celsius, and thermistor operating accuracy that is plus or minus 0.5 degree on Celsius. Okay, so this is the piezometer model, that is 4500 VW piezometer. Okay, now second is inclinometer. So inclinometer, that is Gacon model 6300 VW inclinometer. You can clearly see in this image this inclinometer model. So it is designed designed to be left placed inside the casing to permit automatic or continuous monitoring. Okay, so this inclinometer is generally used to measure data automatically and continuously. Okay, so strings of the sensors are joined together to obtain reflection profiles. Okay, so standard range is plus or minus 10 degree. The resolution, that is plus or minus 0.05 mm per mm. Then accuracy, that is plus or minus 0.1%. Operating frequency ranges, that is 1200 to 3500 hertz. Temperature range of this type of inclinometer, that is minus 20 degree of Celsius to plus 80 degree of Celsius. And thermistor operating accuracy, that is plus or minus 0.5 degree of Celsius. Okay. Now next is strain gauge. So you can clearly see this strain gauge. Okay. So strain gauge is nothing but is capable of capturing structure respond to the short-term live load. Okay. So mount to various structural members and steel, concrete and timber. So easy and quick to install in weather. So we have studied about strain gauge in our previous lecture, that what is the function and what is the operating principle of the strain gauge. Okay, so strain gauge is generally used to measure this strain. Okay, and how we can install strain. So you can clearly see in this figure how we can install strain gauges. Okay, now our next topic, that is sensor sighting. So questions arise in our mind during the sensor sighting, that what are the best location for measuring the required data. Second is where can sensor physically be placed. And third one is will installation interface with the quantity being measured. Okay, so this type of questions arise in our mind during the sensor sighting. Okay, so let us understand it with detail. Okay, so before selection of the sighting of the sensor for any construction, we have to note following criteria in our mind. First one is measuring location. Okay, so knowledge about the measuring location of the sensor is necessary. Okay, so to obtain data representative of the station surrounding local condition must not be artificially influenced by surrounding materials and obstructions like concrete, buildings and snow. Okay, so first of all, before sighting the sensor, we have to knowledge about the measuring locations of the sensor. Okay, that it is not affected by any surrounding materials or any obstructions or any buildings or concretes. Okay, now next one is abrasiveness. Okay, so the sensor exposure will fight to minimize and eliminate the effect of the man-made or geographical obstructions. Okay, so before sighting any sensor, we have to select that type of sensor, that sensor's exposure will find to minimize and eliminate the effect of man-made and geotechnical obstructions. Okay, so before sighting of the sensor, we have to knowledge about the any obstruction. Now next one is access. Okay, so various types of sensors can be placed around the perimeter of the facility and around a smaller area within the facility. Okay, or on a particular spot or item. Okay, so this is the best place for sensor sighting, that around the perimeter of the facility or around a smaller area within the facility. Okay. Now next is security. Okay, so sensors should be located as far as practicable from the cultivating lands to reduce contaminations by dust and dirt. Okay. Next is special requirement. Okay, so according to special requirement, we have knowledge about the location of the sensors. Okay. So these are the main criteria we have to focus on that before sighting of any sensor. Okay, and these are the best location for sighting of any sensors. Okay, so we can say that sites for instrumentation were selected as follows to accommodate the desired sensor types, to allow easy access for installation, maintenance and future class field trips. The next for their ability to provide interesting data that are interpretable by the undergraduate engineering students. And next one to allow for centralized remote data collection, logging and storage. Okay, so we can say that sites for instrumentations are selected as per this criteria, that are selected as per the requirement of the sensors. Okay, that there are multiple sensors are used or one sensor or two sensors are used. Okay, so as per the requirement of the sensor, we have to select the location of the sensors. Okay, so that we can locate all the sensors in our particular area. Okay, and we also focus on that the installation and maintenance of the sensors will become easy at that location or not. Okay, and also we have to focus on that by choosing this particular location we will get our data easily or not from the sensor. Okay, so we have to focus on these basic things before selecting any sites for sensors. Okay, So in this lecture, we have studied about the sensor selection and sensor sighting. Okay. So before selecting any sensor, which type of criteria we have to focus on that, and before selecting sighting of the location, which type of criteria we have to follow. Okay. So thank you for watching this video.